Welcome to the Fireside Chat for Fitness and Nutrition with Adrienne and Ken. Today we're going to be talking about sleep, how it affects our workouts, why we need it in general, and then also foods that help with sleep and foods that don't really help with sleep. Would you like to kick us off, Ken?
Yes, I'm excited about hearing about your side of what helps us and what hinders us. So, but first off, how much sleep do you need? And it does vary for individual for sure, but the average is 7 to 9 hours of sleep. The average person needs 7 to 9 hours of sleep. If you are an athlete, it's important that you recover. Some athletes, elite athletes, get 10 hours of sleep a night. So it's not, don't think, oh, I'm late being lazy because I'm sleep, it's 8, 9, 10 hours, 10 hours a day. If you're physically fit and you're going for some goals, your body may need it. And again, there are people out there that some people need 4 hours of sleep. I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know how they do it. But there's people that need 9, 10 hours of sleep. But that's the average. So what is important about sleep? Why do we need it? And we talked about, when you strength train, you tear down muscles. It's not the actual building. It doesn't actually build muscle to strength train. It's the rest in between the strength training that actually builds and repairs your muscle tissue. So sleeping is a huge part of that recovery time. And so you need a good solid amount of sleep for muscle tissue enhancement, for build, repair, and growth. So that's important. And recovery. Well, we already talked about recovery, Jen. And performance, adequate performance. If you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to perform at your most intense. You just won't. I'm tired. I can't do this. When last week you did 10 repetitions, I can only do 7. Well, why is that? Well, I stayed up too late last night, or I read a book, or I watched a movie, or I did whatever it was. I didn't get enough sleep. And so that's important. And then, of course, it affects your energy levels. We just kind of talked about that as well. So, you gotta get enough sleep to get that energy level so that you can have a good workout. Because we want to have a good workout so that you can see benefits and have more energy. And so sleep is a huge part of that. Well, if you're not getting enough sleep? How do you make changes to get good sleep? Try to go to bed and get up at the same time every day, even on the weekends. I know people say, "Oh, it's the weekend, I'm going to sleep in," but try and get it to where you can even that out, and that's going to help you get into what's called a kind of a circadian rhythm, where you go to bed at the same time. Okay, my used to it. Your body gets used to it. You go to sleep just like that. So there's that, and then ensure that you're in an environment that is dark, is quiet if you like that. I personally like white noise. I turn on white noise, and so that I can't hear if somebody's watching the TV outside the bedroom. I can't hear that. I have a specific noise that I listen to, and I'm used to it, and it's good for me. It works for me. You want to get rather a cooler place than a warmer place. Your body seems to respond to that. Most people's bodies seem to respond to that better than if it's a warmer environment. So turn down the air a little bit, or turn up the air conditioning, or however you want to say that, so that your body can relax. Sometimes it's helpful to have a pre-sleep routine where this is what I do. I quit watching TV a half an hour or so. You should probably do it more than that, but half an hour before I go to sleep, and I do what's called box breathing. So I don't know if you know what that is, but you breathe in first, like breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, blow out for 5 seconds, and then hold for 5 seconds. And I do that 3 times, and then I'll meditate or pray, and then I go to sleep like that. I just maybe it's the pray that does that. Maybe, I don't know, but I go to sleep very quickly, and so it's my pre work strategy to sleep, right? And so it works for me. It may not work for you, but it works for me. You want to go ahead and limit your stimulants. So you don't want to drink coffee. When my wife drinks coffee or tea, even 3 or 4 hours before she goes to bed, she can't sleep at night. She has a hard time going to sleep. So don't say. And you're probably going to cover that, I'm sure. And I hope I didn't steal your point. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and then you want to try and, like I already mentioned, kind of limit your screen time. So kind of reduce it down as you get closer to your bedtime, and then and there you go. So do you have any questions? Did I?
Do you try to keep your weeknight bedtime the same as the weekday, or do you find that to be hard? Because I still find it to be hard sometimes.
Well, actually, I have a dog who makes me get up at the same time every day. So it's it, and I've trained. We've kind of meshed with each other, because he knows I get up at 4 or 3:30 or 4 every morning, and he's like, okay, I'm ready. And so on the weekends I'm like, can we just sleep in a bit? I'm ready. So I take him out for a walk, so I just get up every morning at the same time. Now I don't stay up very late, so I go to sleep about 9 every night. So even once in a while I'll stay up till 10. My wife is like going, let's party, woo! And we stay up till 10. Like, woo! So but typically, I get 7, sometimes 8 hours of sleep a night, but mostly 7, which is what I need. And but yeah, I do. What about you? Do you go to bed?
I feel like the Gen Zers, from what I've been reading, are much, much better in their 20s than I was, for example. Apparently, a lot of them are totally okay with like missing out on things and going to bed at the same time, like 9 p.m. every single night. That was not me. I was more definitely like a night owl. And I still find that there's that party mentality for me on the weekends of like, I don't have to wake up for anything, so I do want to stay up. But I do have rabbits. While they will not bark or anything, they usually thump, and their room is right above mine. And so they're like, get up now. Like, what is going on? The world's ending. We need to be fed.
That's great. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely have some areas of improvement here, but I do like what you mentioned with the white noise, like using an aromatherapy diffuser, or just having an air purifier, or just a fan.
Yeah,
could be a really good
that's
idea.
what I have.
I also like eye covers, because sometimes little bits of light come into the room and that really kind of bothers me. So you might need an eye cover if you have a lamp post outside of your window, or
True.
Your blinds are just not doing what they're supposed to be. But let's talk about some foods also
Please. I'm
So
excited about this.
sleep is really crucial for overall health, despite what we may or may not have done in our 20s. And yet many of us struggle to get quality sleep. Ken talked about the amount, and really you just need to figure out what is the best for you. I read a recent article, and I don't know how feasible this is for a lot of people, but the idea that the doctor gave was to go out somewhere for like 7 to 8 days, where you're not like partying late at the night. Maybe you're like in a cabin in the woods or something. If you went to bed when you were tired and you woke up when you were done sleeping, that would give you more like your number for sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not really feasible for most people. I usually I ask people like, what would it be if you were in a cabin in the woods, and that's your magic sleep number essentially.
Yeah.
Mine, as you kind of mentioned, but I'm not an elite athlete, I would not put myself in that category. But when I was working out a lot more, I needed like 10 hours of sleep for sure.
Yeah.
So that actually made me feel better to hear you say that, because so many of us are in this hustle culture of like, wake up at 6, bust out a workout, and then slay the day kind of thing.
Right.
Sleep.
Yeah. But no, 10 hours is good.
Yeah, so there are foods that help with sleep, and there are foods that definitely don't help with sleep. So
Okay.
one of the foods or the types of foods that does help with sleep are complex carbohydrates. These could be from whole grains, like oatmeal, for example. It could be a nice thing to have even before bed, especially if you're like want to have something comforting, maybe with some almonds and some bananas. And we'll talk about almonds in a second. Millet would be another whole grain. Farro. There's a bunch of whole grains out there. So that can be really helpful for us to go to sleep. Sweet potatoes, like a baked sweet potato, maybe with your dinner, could be a good idea. And legumes are rich in complex carbohydrates too. So all of these things can boost production of serotonin, which helps us relax and helps us sleep. And so, like I said, a small bowl of oatmeal or maybe some hummus, legumes, with some vegetables would be a really good idea. Lean protein. So these would be like more omnivore options, but turkey, chicken, fish, even tofu. They're rich in tryptophan, and that's an amino acid that can help you relax your muscles and actually promote some sleep. So I usually suggest to people, they might want a turkey roll up, for example, maybe with some mustard or a piece of lettuce. And then nuts and seeds is like more of the plant-based options other than tofu. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. They're also great sources of magnesium, which can help relax our muscles, which again helps us sleep. They also contain melatonin. Cherries do too, actually. I did not have that one because that's nuts and seeds. Anyway, that's a hormone that can help with our sleep-wake cycles. So a good idea here would be maybe a handful of walnuts or almonds. Like if you are in that transition period of like, I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat too much before I go to bed, like a small handful would be good. You can also have chia seed pudding, which is pretty darn delicious, and that would help you here too. Now, depending on, dairy or non-dairy products. So dairy products like milk and yogurt, they do contain tryptophan and also calcium, both of which can help produce melatonin. I would opt for some low fat or maybe non-fat options just to reduce excess saturated fat intake. But you can also have non-dairy options. So you might want to try some warmed up almond milk, maybe with a little bit of honey. And that's another way to have a comfy beverage that might just like warm you up a little bit as you get ready for bed.
Ooh.
And then herbal teas, because you mentioned caffeine, we'll get to in like the don't have this, but herbal teas like chamomile and valerian root can be known for their calming properties to help promote relaxation, help reduce our stress so that we can improve our quality of sleep too. Now, the foods to avoid. High fat foods, so things that are high in saturated fats, like fried foods, maybe fatty cuts of meat, they can be harder to digest, which can make it more difficult to sleep. And caffeinated beverages, which you kind of touched on, and some people are way more sensitive than others. I remember even having some like coffee beverages when I worked at a cafe at like 2 p.m. and it would like mess up my sleep for the rest of the day. But anyway, coffee, tea, sodas. Some sodas contain caffeine, and all these are stimulants that interfere with our sleep. So I would try to avoid these in the evening, close to bedtime, and especially if you are caffeine sensitive. Spicy foods can cause indigestion and heartburn, which make it hard to sleep or disrupt your sleep. So try to avoid those close to bed, maybe a lunchtime option. Sugary foods and drinks. These can cause fluctuations in your blood sugar and cause a little roller coaster, which can also impact your sleep, disrupt it. So I would suggest healthier snacks that are lower in sugar. And I've presented a couple of those already, like the turkey or the chia seed pudding, just so you have something, but it doesn't have to have any sugar or much at all. Alcohol. Now, we did an episode on alcohol and its effects earlier, but while alcohol can initially help you fall asleep, it will disrupt the quality of your sleep by messing with your REM cycles. So if you want more restorative rest and to feel good and motivated for your workout the next day or just life in general, just try to make these more mindful food choices so that you can support your healthy sleep patterns and your overall well-being. Any questions at all?
I do. So when you talked about foods that help you sleep, how soon before you go to sleep should you stop eating that? Or can you eat it like, I'm going to go to bed in half an hour, or I'm going to go in 15 minutes, or I'm going to go to bed in 2 hours or 3 hours? Is there a cutoff time, or is it individual, or tell me how that?
A little bit of both, but the general advice that we say is like, try not to eat anything within 3 hours of bedtime. However, let's say that your dinner was on the lighter side. It's going to be up to you as an individual. For me personally, like if my stomach is rumbling or like I'm getting hunger pains, that's going to make it harder for me to sleep. So if it's like even an hour before bed, sometimes I'll be like, okay, let me just grab a handful of almonds or make a small snack, but I don't want to eat a meal around that time.
Okay.
So some people can push through that and they don't really have strong hunger pains at all. And by And in that case, I would say just go to sleep so that you don't have anything messing with you at all. But yeah,
Right.
3 hours in general, and also just pay attention, maybe keep a food diary to see maybe if your dinner was
That's a good idea.
not fulfilling enough and you felt that you needed a snack.
I like that. I have a funny story to tell you real quick.
Yes.
My son the other day, he he related. He said, "Well, I came down at night. And he was doing something late at night. He came down. And he said, I wanted to get a snack, and there was nothing. And he just said, I guess I'll just have sleep for dinner. So he went back. He just went up and went to bed. So that's related to what you just said. It made me laugh. It made me smile. It's funny.
And most of us really, I mean, if you take a look at our obesity and overweight issue in America, there was not really an issue of most of us going without a meal and starving to death, you know?
Yeah, it is true.
So we could probably try not to, especially if we're not hungry at all and we're just mindlessly eating, an
Right.
hour, half an hour before bed because we're enjoying a TV show. That's not going to help our sleep very much at all. It's not going to help our weight issues either. So
Yeah.
just keep these things in mind. We're not, prescribing anything. We're just offering ideas.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I like it.
And as you always say, Ken, what is it about most of the time?
Well, consistency. You've got to be consistent with your sleep, with your eating, with your, it's real important, and the exercise as well. So, and what do you say, Adrienne?
Well, I would definitely agree with you there. I would say sleep is actually more important than nutrition and possibly even workouts because it's the
I would
foundation
agree.
of everything, right?
I would agree.
So, I mean, I would, for you all at home, like definitely before you try layering on like all these different things you're going to start on Monday or whatever, just like focus on better sleep so that you have the energy and to have your workouts and do them. And then also to make good food choices because when we're tired, we generally think, who cares? I need a donut to just get through the day, right?
Right. Right.
So definitely focus on this. And as I always like to say, just choose one small thing. And it could be, oh, instead of this, I'm going to have almonds as a snack. Maybe building a healthier snack list for yourself so that when you
I
get
like that.
around 8, 9, whatever happens for you, you can be like, oh, these are my options. Great. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. And if you all have any questions or comments about how any of these things have worked out for you, please put them in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you like the work that we're putting out, please consider supporting this channel. The link is in the description below. Any other lasting comments, Ken?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, then we'll see you all next week and sleep well. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
We have a 90-day VIP program, and this is all about knee surgery prep and recovery. So we want to make sure that you have the best outcomes by having your own virtual personal trainer and your own dietitian nutritionist who's going to help coach you. So by integrating these services that we're going to offer with your doctor's care, you will have a lot of potential benefits, including customized diet and exercise plans to help you get ready for the surgery, and then afterwards the surgery, dealing with things like inflammation or limited mobility and how to get that strength back into the knee, for example, and the muscles surrounding it. We can also help create routines that focus on strengthening certain specific muscles, like I said, reducing inflammation and excess weight to help your knees not be so stressed out. And we're also going to improve flexibility and enhance your overall health. What else we're going to do, Ken?
Well, yeah, you said a lot. That's good. Injury prevention and rehabilitation for sure. If you're getting scheduled for knee replacement, let's just say, you want to strengthen those muscles around the joint so that it's easier for you to recover. So the stronger the muscle is before you go in, the easier it is to rehabilitate that because it's already programmed. It's already programmed in the muscle and in the nerves and so forth. So it's a good thing. You want that. Your muscles want that. They desire that, and the rehabilitation will be so much easier. And with a trainer specifically, we can guide you. I can guide you through the proper form and techniques in reducing your risk of further injury as well. So, what else you got, Adrienne?
Another great benefit of this program is that we do everything virtually. So you can get your virtual health coaching and your virtual personal training so that you can do it from home, from your couch,
Don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to go anywhere for sure. motivate. That leads into motivation and accountability. So we provide personal one-on-one motivation and support, and with regular check-ins, and we track your progress and set you up with goals and make sure that you're on track and making the progress that you need to make in order to go forward.
And a key part of this is that it's holistic too. So there's a difference between going to our doctors or orthopedic surgeons and, getting news that we're going to get a surgery, and then just kind of like prepping in terms of having some meals made or people to kind of help out. But what you really want is to have this combined dietary part and this personal training part along with your doctor, so that you have all three on your team. And by doing this, clients can have better posture, they can lose weight, reduce inflammation and pain, have increased strength and overall well-being. So you are like hitting the ground running. Well, so you're prepping, you get the surgery, and then you're done and you have support to just get on with the rest of your life. So right. I think it's a great program.
I do too.
And it's only $14.97 for the whole 90-day program. And it includes one-on-one support with your nutrition coach and also your personal trainer. You'll get 9 sessions total. And we are here to help you thrive.
Yes, we are.